How's it going, ladies and Bruce's up? I'll be Sixkilla. Welcome back to Return to Shironagasu Island. In the last episode, we finally discovered who Wizards was. It was Rail, and we just finished having a talk with her about what she's actually doing here, which is investigating the biological weapons that they're developing here. And she's about to go home, I think, back to her room. Might have had a little bit too much to drink. I'll sober up in my room and come back a little later. Do not reveal my true identity to anyone, okay? Of course, no need to tell me. We'll pretend to be the way we used to be before, don't worry. Actually, I'm more worried about the gloomy girl. Don't worry about her. Nanako doesn't even possess communication skills that would allow her to talk about it. You, stop insulting me. They come to think of it, you're probably right. I'll see you later. At least we discovered her real identity. I'm glad we did, but what are we going to do now? Of course, our next step will be unmasking the killer. In her testimony, Rail talked about everyone. If we combine and compare all of the testimonies, I'm convinced that we will be able to unmask the killer. Could you take a look at this first? Thomas was the first guest who crossed the bridge. We don't know if the doors were open or closed at that time. No, Rail and Jacob crossed the bridge first. Ah yes, you're right. Alright, but let's focus on retracing Thomas's steps. Retracing Thomas's steps, as he was the one who was murdered. Rail noticed that the doors were open. Next, Thomas crossed the bridge. Yes, at this point in time, the doors were open. But if we base this solely on Rail's testimony, we don't know if the doors were closed before or after Thomas went to the dining hall. This part is definitely muddled. After that, we went through the corridor and crossed the bridge. The iron doors were closed and nothing was going on the bridge, right? Yes, I don't remember anything being out of the ordinary. One important fact is that the iron doors were closed when we went through the corridor. If Rail's testimony was correct, someone must have closed the iron doors just before we crossed the bridge. Who could that have been? The iron doors, most likely... No, I don't know. The killer probably closed them. The killer probably closed... yeah. Well, only the killer would benefit from the doors being closed. Exactly. But... did they go to the bridge just to close the doors? Someone could have seen them closing the doors. Perhaps the killer really wanted to have the doors closed, even though someone could have seen them. But still, it would have been a lot of work. Let's talk about the murder scene. After we crossed the bridge, we met Abby. Abby told us that she would lock the doors into place. If she did as she said, the iron doors should have been opened right after that. She's a villain and tried to break my bones, so maybe she's lying. But that doesn't appear to be the case. If Curator and Giselle's testimonies are true, the iron doors were open. So Abby did what she said she would. After that, Curator and Giselle went straight into the dining hall without noticing anything unusual. Giselle said she went back to her room to pick up her notebook. That's pretty suspicious behavior. It's true. Oh, that's right. She's the only one who came back. Giselle returned to her room to pick up the notebook and then went back to the dining hall. The doors were open at that time, and there was still nothing strange about the bridge. Alex crossed the bridge next. Alex also testified that there was nothing strange about the bridge and the doors, and the iron doors were closed. He was the last one to cross the bridge. That's suspicious. Alex could have closed the doors and might have done something on the bridge, right? Is his testimony trustworthy? In any case, considering Rail's testimony, it's clear that the iron doors were closed at this point. We don't know who closed them, for now anyway. But anyone who could have closed them, including Akira, who left the dining hall immediately, only the two of us have an alibi. Or did the people from the mansion close it? It might be possible, but it wouldn't explain why Abby went out of her way to open the heavy doors. If the killer had the people from the mansion close the doors, why would Abby open the doors in the first place? Does that mean the killer closed them? And Thomas, who was with us in the dining hall, was burnt to a crisp in the corridor in the guest room building. Ugh. Judging from both your and Alex's testimony that the bridge felt warm, it's certain that there was something hot on the bridge. But Alex told me that he didn't see anything unusual on the bridge when he crossed it. That's very strange. If there was something strange on the bridge, Alex would probably have noticed it. This part is still vague. Maybe Alex was just lying. That could certainly be the case, but Rail might be lying as well. When it comes to what happened on the bridge, the testimonies of those two are the most suspicious. Considering the situation, definitely. Or could things be less complicated than we're thinking? I think it's best to keep things simple. Perhaps we should not just look at the murder of Thomas. This could be somehow related to the murder of Sir Raymond as well. This is how the guest rooms were allocated. We found Sir Raymond's body in this room. Where? Where's Sir Raymond? There. Oh, he's on the first floor, just down from us. There's nothing particularly strange about that. Is there anything that points to the killer? It's directly under Giselle's room? Down the hall from us and Alex? I want to try something. What do you want to try? I mean, go right ahead, but... I'm going to the room where Sir Raymond's body was found, and I'll yell from there. I want you to listen if you can hear my voice in this room. Are you really going back to that room? My knees suddenly started shaking again. Hey, that means you're going to leave me alone again. You've got to be kidding. No, you can't be serious. You'll be fine. I'll only be gone for 2 minutes at most. Are you really going to go? Calm down, Neneko. Think. It's just stupid Curator trying to be funny. Wow, you idiot. No, don't you... I can hear Neneko yelling and screaming behind the door, but I need to check my hunch. I better try the room where we found Sir Raymond's body. This room is so gross. That putrid dead body smell still hangs in the air. I better get this over with quickly. Neneko is a bonehead. That should do it. Now to find out if Neneko could hear me. I'll go back to my room. Hey Neneko, I'm done. You can come out of hiding. Ikeda, you idiot. You made me wait almost 1,000,000 years. That long? And you haven't had a mental breakdown? Not bad at all. So could you hear me shout? Shout? Oh, you mentioned that. I completely forgot. Well, since you totally forgot about it, I'll just have to go back one more time. No, just kidding. I remember what you told me. Are you sure? So could you hear my voice over here? I don't think I did. Probably. I'm telling the truth. Would I lie to you? Please don't leave me alone anymore, please. If you leave me again, I'll call you Sin Demon Scumbag Ikeda for the rest of your life. Whatever, anyway, I believe you. But if you didn't hear me, then it's kind of strange because Alex and I both could hear Sir Raymond's moans. That would mean that the moaning didn't come from the room, but came from the hallway instead, maybe. Now, I checked the hallway as soon as I heard the moaning, but there was nothing unusual there, and I didn't hear the sound of a door closing. The moaning sound has to come from another room. There are plenty of other rooms on the first floor that we haven't been in. Then which room did it come from? I think that they came from the room next to this one. The room next to this one? I have a bad feeling about this. Join the party. If I break into the room next to ours, I might be able to find some evidence there. I knew it. Don't go. Stop leaving me behind. Come with me then. To be honest, I don't like that either. Wait, I have a feeling you're going to leave me again. I guess I'll just have to come with you, because you won't be able to do anything without me. It's very helpful, really. What's that smug look? Are you going to pick that lock? Is water wet? Not bad for someone who's so useless. I guess you'll always have a career in burglary you can fall back on. Alright, it's clear. I don't see anyone hiding. Oh. Why don't you just turn on the lights? It's almost identical to our room. The only thing that's different is the painting. Neneko, did you notice anything? Doesn't matter how small. Do I notice anything? Nothing in particular, to be honest. Well, the sheets are a bit misaligned, but only by a tiny bit. The sheets, huh? I don't think it's a big deal. No, I think it is. A handkerchief with initials on it. Was it underneath the bed? The initials DR, Dan Raymond. So this is Sir Raymond's handkerchief. Doesn't have any dust on it. I also don't think the killer left it there on purpose. This is important evidence that proves that Sir Raymond was in this room recently. So Sir Raymond was attacked here? But isn't that strange? It's certainly strange. So the killer called Sir Raymond to come all the way to the room next to yours, and then went out of their way to move them to a different room to kill him. No matter how you think about it, isn't it strange? It's certainly a mystery. Why did they tell him to come to this room? And why did they move him to a different room later? Why do you think? I really don't know. Let's see, I might know why they moved Sir Raymond to the other room. When the killer murdered Sir Raymond, they would have known about my real background. So they must have thought that it would be too risky to mutilate him in the room next to mine. That's why they moved him to a different room first. Ooh, did they really have to mutilate him? I mean, they wanted to mutilate him so badly, even if it would mean that they would be discovered. What a sick person. They likely harbored a grudge against her. Anyway, Even this will not explain why the body was moved. I do not understand why the secret meeting with Sir Raymond took place in this room. There would be only disadvantages to having a secret meeting here. It's as if it had to be this room for a reason. A reason why it had to be this room? For instance, perhaps there was a secret passageway in the room. That would explain why Sir Raymond was caught off guard. But in that case, it had to be a passageway that the killer knew about, but Sir Raymond didn't. Is it possible there's a hidden passage here that even the administrator of the mansion didn't know about? It's certainly a little bit unlikely, but they managed to surprise him another way. Jump out from under the bed. Another way, how then? For example, sneaking through the window. Yeah, there you go. Pick the lock, that would have to be me. They won't go sneaking through the window. Obvious, or it will come from under the bed. Or a cupboard, is there a cupboard? They sneak in through the windows? These windows have no lock, so they could sneak in from outside. From the window? There's a terrible wind blowing constantly. Did they sneak in by using a rope? It'd be quite difficult, or even impossible. Well, it certainly would be difficult, but I don't think it would be impossible. For a trained professional killer, that is. Well, if you put it like that, you might be right. Just by thinking about the possibilities, old memories come back to mind, and I feel dizzy. Let's stop talking about this. I almost thought I'd solved the case, though. How could the killer have come up with such a strange murder method? There must have been a simpler way. Certainly, or maybe the killer was inspired by something that happened in the past. An isolated island in the sea, strange iron doors, a warm bridge, a burnt corpse, a constantly blowing wind, a transparent killer, a mysterious creature. Wait. By Jove, I think I've got it. The killer's modus operandi. What, really? Tell me. If what I'm thinking is right, only this person could be the killer. The killer is... Yes, who? Hang on, I heard something behind the door. What? What are you talking about? Your timing totally sucks. You leading me on? Who's there? What are you doing there? Whoa, was there really someone there? Nenika, let's go after them. Whoa, what the... Are you guys coming out of there? You gave me a fright. Akira, did you see anyone running past you right now? Well, I just saw Jacob. Jacob, darn, I have a bad feeling about this. Wait, hold up, did something happen? Hey, wait! Hey, what's going on? Jacob just ran past me. So Jacob was listening in on us from there. What's he up to? Rail, stand back, I'm opening the door. Okay. The iron door is no longer blocked. Looks like he's one step ahead of us. Jacob. Jacob's in the middle of the bridge. I can see Vincent and Abby blocking the way. Huh? What's he doing? Nanako, duck! Vincent's holding a gun. What? A gun? Someone did... The killer, after all. Jacob's shouting something at them, but the sound of the wind makes it difficult to make out what he's saying. The killer is... What? Does Jacob know who the killer is? Was he eavesdropping on us to learn the information that could unmask the killer? Please, because I have... Jacob and the other two appear to be negotiating, but I still can't hear what they're saying. Vincent and Abby don't appear to be very open to negotiations. I have a feeling something very bad is about to happen. Hey, what's going on there? Looks like everyone in the guest room building heard the commotion and has come here. Rael, Akira, Giselle and Alex are all here. Get away from the door, Vincent has a gun. He might shoot you. Stay out of his line of sight. Alright. What the hell's going on? He's got his gun pointed at Jacob. What's going on? I think Jacob's trying to cut a deal with them. This is just a guess though. Looks like the negotiations are falling apart. Was that a What was that gunshot? Tell me. What happened? Tell me. It's not a very pleasant sight. Don't look, alright? That was a headshot from the hip. Vincent appears to be an expert marksman. This is a warning to the killer. You have 30 minutes. If you don't tell me the code by then, I will kill everyone without mercy. Vincent, what code do you want? Detective, outsiders shouldn't talk too much or their lives will be cut short here. Whoa. I see Vincent's muzzle move in my direction and quickly take cover. Suddenly the iron doors on both sides close. The guest rooms in the main building are separated again. We have 30 minutes, that's not a lot of time. There's no point in asking the killer for help now. I'll have to reveal their identity. Let's go back to my room. We can discuss what to do there next. How can you stay so calm after that? You said we only have 30 minutes. What is this code anyway? What do they want? Just calm down, let me think. Let's go to my room and plan our next move there. Don't tell me you're going to shoot yourself in the head. I'm not drunk enough to do that. Yet. Besides, if I had to shoot someone, I'd shoot the person who got us in this mess in the first place. Time for the big reveal. Time to settle this, once and for all. I should already know who the killer is. Who is the killer? Alright, I'm gonna have to cut again and think about it. Well, I mean, after we went over the thing of events with the bridge and stuff, it pretty much can be cut down to Alex and Giselle. I think are the two obvious people, because Giselle was the one who came back through the bridge and it looked like the doors were closed after she came through, so she probably closed the doors. Then again, Alex came through after that and didn't notice anything strange. So I feel like it has to be one of those two. Realistically, I'm in that frame of mind. I mean, we can knock out dead people, we can knock out invisible people, we can knock out the staff, because the staff are also trying to hunt the killer, right? So it's not Vincent, it's not Abigail, it's not Aurora, it's not Thomas, it's not me, it's not Niniko, obviously. Those two are knocked out immediately. It's not Jacob, because he's fucking dead now. So that brings us down to Akira, Giselle, Alex, and Rael. Right? It's not Akira, because apart from taking a shit, she didn't leave the dining hall. It's not Rael, because she's an undercover detective as well. So it pretty much narrows it down to these two. I think Giselle would be a much better killer because of her cold-blooded sort of demeanor. She has no emotion. Like, she doesn't get upset, she doesn't get angry, she doesn't freak out. She's just cold as ice. Like a hitman, you know? And you know, the butler always done it. She's like Akira's butler. Let's go with Giselle. It seems more plausible than Alex, come on. That's right, the only one who could be the killer is Rael. I need you to cooperate with me, alright? Huh? Yeah, of course, how can I help? It's only a teeny tiny thing. Huh? Hey, is this some kind of joke? Why are you tying me up? Hey, my hands hurt. Rael, you're the killer, aren't you? What? What? Huh? No way. Huh. So she's the killer? That's right. First of all, Rael and Alex were the only two people who had the opportunity to set a trap on the bridge that could kill Thomas. So this allowed me to narrow the list of suspects down to 2 people. Then there's the murder of Sir Raymond. I've always wondered exactly why Sir Raymond was caught off guard. Oh, and when they talked, I forgot to mention, when we were talking about Sir Raymond's murder, as I noted on the floor plan, if she came in through the window, you got to remember that Giselle's room was directly above Raymond's room. Just saying, would have made it a lot easier to get in through the window. I always wondered why exactly Sir Raymond was caught off guard, but in the end it doesn't matter. The killer only needed to unlock the door and sneak into the room where the meeting was about to be held. Did she unlock the door, but how'd she do that? Actually, she's really an undercover agent who sneaked into this island. She's highly trained. Not only can she pick locks, but her assassination skills are also first class. But how'd she kill Thomas? Did you find out how? We don't need to anymore. We can just ask the killer herself. That's right, come on Rael, give up already. You kidder. What are you thinking? Do you really think I'm the killer? You idiot, someone else is the killer. What? She just became a totally different person. You mean she's been acting this whole time? It appears that Ikeda's reasoning was right. Ikeda, don't listen to her. She's trying to get into your head. Real killers always say things like that. Quit fooling around, you'll regret this. You're all going to be killed by the real killer. Niniko, keep an eye on Rael for me. What, me? I think there are others here who could do a better job. Everyone else, please come here. I have an idea of what to discuss with the 3 of you. An idea? What are we going to do? Torture her until she talks? Close but no cigar. We're going to reveal the killer's identity. What? You're making zero sense right now, Ikeda. Alright, I've got it. Huh? You... Calm down, Akira. Rael isn't the killer. What do you mean? I'm so not following what's going on here. Judging from the murders, it was obvious that the killer is a well-trained professional. It would have been difficult to neutralize them if they'd been on their guard. That's why I had to play a trick on them. I was confused when Ikeda started to tie me up, but then he whispered his little plan in my ear. The rope was loosely tied, so I could easily escape and sneak up on Giselle. Looks like your plan worked, Ikeda. You could have told me in advance. I was startled when Rael suddenly stood up. But Ikeda, you didn't need to tell everyone that I'm an undercover agent. I had to. If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have been able to fool the killer. I needed a good reason to incriminate you and distract the real killer, so revealing your true identity was my best bet. I'll love it when a plan comes together. What? You're making a mistake. I'm not the killer. I didn't kill anyone. You're pretty calm, aren't you, Giselle Reed? Anyone else would lose their composure in such a situation. This calmness. She has the composure of an assassin. But Ikeda, do you have any concrete evidence that proves she's the killer? Please don't tell me this is just a hunch. Of course, I'll explain everything. Let me tell you how Sir Raymond and Thomas were murdered, and why I'm certain that Giselle is the killer. First of all, let's talk about the murder of Sir Raymond. Sir Raymond's estimated time of death was around 2 AM on the day we arrived on the island. Sir Raymond didn't show up in the dining hall. I surmised that from a mysterious moaning that Alex and I had both heard, that Sir Raymond was most likely tied up in the room next to mine at noon on the first day. As evidence of this, I found Sir Raymond's handkerchief in the room next to mine. In other words, the killer had used this room as a secret meeting place where they restrained Sir Raymond. Wait a minute. Did they go out of their way to set up a meeting in that specific room next to yours? Isn't that strange? You're right, I was wondering about that as well. Luring and capturing Sir Raymond there, the killer might have used some kind of ruse to catch Sir Raymond's attention. So I thought about how everyone's rooms were allocated. There was something strange about it. If the killer had chosen the allocation of the rooms, that allocation must mean something. How the rooms are allocated. I never thought about that. As I said before, all windows can be opened from the outside as well. There's no need to be afraid of intruders on this island. The killer took advantage of that. She'd sneak into the room through the window before Sir Raymond arrived. Sir Raymond let his guard down because he had Abby sweep the room first. After Abby checked and told him the room was empty, Sir Raymond entered with his guard down. He was restrained by the killer, who had sneaked into the room earlier. Wait, but there are always strong winds on the island. It shouldn't be so easy to sneak in from the outside. The only way that can be done is by abseiling with a rope. Did the killer really manage to do that? I guess I'll have to ask Neneko about her photographic memory about this. What? Me? Yes, you were about to fall out of your window around the same time that Sir Raymond was captured. Do you remember everything you saw then? Was there something like a rope hanging outside of his room? Forcing me to remember that terrible moment, how cruel. I really don't want to, but I don't have a choice. A rope was definitely hanging along the wall, but it was the same colour as the wall, so I couldn't see it well. Ah, I'm falling! You'll stay here with us, you're safe. I'm never doing this ever again. I see, so it's possible the killer used a rope to sneak into the room. Wait, in that case, the killer would have been staying directly above the vacant room where Sir Raymond was captured. That was Jacob's room. How can Giselle have been the killer? Jacob was definitely a suspect too, but then the following occurred to me. What is it? The wind. It's so strong that it can make you fall down if you open the window, even a little bit. The wind on the island is blowing so strongly from right to left. If you abseil, you'd be swept to the left. The killer knew this from experience. This is why she didn't pick the room directly above it. She picked the room that was further to the right. She took the wind into account. Certainly it'd be difficult to get down to a room right below you if there's such a strong wind blowing. Considering the strength of that wind, she could have exited her bathroom window and then entered the room to the left underneath it. Wait a minute. But she could perhaps have managed to do so from the room directly above it, right? Indeed. So the list of suspects is narrowed down to either Jacob or Giselle. This is only a guess, but I think the killer knew how to descend from one room to another from past experience. Past experience? Anyway, now let's consider the next case. Thomas's murder. Thanks to Neneko and Alex's testimonies, I found out that the bridge was warm at the time. So what happened there? Jacob used the words, transparent killer. The victim was killed around noon, and Thomas himself didn't notice anything. So what I arrive at is, well, the bridge was wet. It was probably like petrol or something on the bridge. Ethanol, there you go, ethanol. Ethanol? The killer poured ethanol onto the bridge and set it on fire. Ethanol burns pretty cleanly, so you can barely see it as well, especially in a bright day. Speaking of ethanol, there's certainly a lot of refined spirit in the wine cellar. Rectified spirit, sorry. Rectified spirit is a liquor with a strength of 95 to 96 degrees. It's almost pure ethanol. But wait a minute. Even if the bridge was set on fire, nothing happened to me when I walked over the bridge. How could Giselle be the killer? I don't think she had the chance to set it on fire. Giselle set it on fire when she went back to get her notebook. The bridge was already on fire when you crossed it. How's that even possible? The murder was committed at midday when the sun was high. It's difficult to see pure ethanol burning in full sunlight. Because of that, you probably didn't notice any fire. That's what a transparent killer really means. Also, we know that the drainage is terrible on that bridge. The ethanol remained on the bridge for a long time and it only appeared to be a puddle. But in that case, why was Thomas the only one who was burned and not I? We both crossed the bridge. There were several factors that led to Thomas's death. The first is that Thomas's clothes were flammable. But there's one more thing that makes this a well thought out murder method. And what's that? The iron doors. Why was it so important for the killer to close the iron doors even though it would risk exposing himself? So he can't get off the bridge. In fact, the iron doors played an essential part in Thomas's murder. Why were they essential? You mean the wheels? Exactly. Thomas had to stop on the bridge to turn the wheel. This took some time, and after a while the fire ignited his suit. I see. In that case, I opened the door from the guest room building side when I crossed the bridge so it didn't catch fire. To think that I could have ended up just like Thomas. That isn't enough to convince me. Some ethanol can't cause such serious burns. How do you explain that? It'd be easy to imagine if you were in Thomas's shoes. As he was turning the wheel, he suddenly felt the heat underneath his feet. Surprised by the fire, Thomas panicked and tried to put out the fire. That's when he saw the vase in the corridor, which presumably was also full of ethanol. The vase? Wait, did the killer anticipate Thomas's behavior and put more ethanol in the vase? How could they have foreseen that? It would explain the severity of his burns, though. Thomas wanted to put out the fire with the water in the vase, but burned himself to death instead. Am I right? Is this what happened? Giselle? It certainly is an amusing theory. It all sounds like speculation to me. Perhaps the murders were carried out as you described, but you can't tie me to any of them. Your testimony about the rope hanging outside the guest room building was vague. Anyone could have set the bridge on fire. She appears to be right, and the testimony about the rope is vague at best, and I can't conclude that Giselle was the one who poured ethanol onto the bridge. I want to crawl into that dark cave now. Besides, if Giselle really is the killer, she might have had an accomplice. Giselle is Akira's attendant, so Akira might have helped her in one way or another. What do you have to say about this? What the hell? Stop talking nonsense. I'm telling you that neither Giselle nor I are the killer. The killer has to be someone else. What do you think, Akira? Do you have concrete evidence? Of course. I guess I'll have to go back to the beginning. Why'd the killer use such strange methods to kill someone in the first place? It's strange if you think about it. There are better and easier ways to kill someone, aren't there? There's one explanation. The killer already knew what they would do before coming here. Already knew, which means they knew the victims. That's right. Jacob once told me that Thomas's death was similar to something he had seen before, and the killer had to be a woman. For some reason, he wouldn't explain himself further. My guess is that the killer had witnessed something in the past that was similar to the way Thomas was murdered. Or they may have experienced it. It's possible that they were revenge murders. If that's the case, then what Jacob said would make a lot of sense. It also explains why he didn't want to talk about the murder method. I see. But, do you have any proof that Giselle survived and escaped from this island? And is there any evidence that proves Akira isn't an accomplice? We can find out the answers by examining what Akira has said before. The first thing that stood out to me was that Giselle didn't want to take a bath with Akira. Perhaps she thought it wouldn't be appropriate, as she is Akira's attendant after all. However, there could be another reason. Giselle didn't want to take a bath with Akira because she wanted to hide the burns on her body. What are you talking about? There's no way. Akira also said that when we found Sir Thomas's body, Giselle kept her away from the door. It seems like a casual act, but it also takes on a completely different meaning when considering everything else. When Akira and Giselle got onto the bridge, there was still a fire burning on it. Giselle realized this, so she quickly moved Akira away from the door. If my guess is right, there should be old burn scars on Giselle's legs, and new burn marks as well. If what you said is right, Akira couldn't have been her accomplice. If Akira had been her accomplice, she wouldn't have done that. Alex, could I ask you to tear Giselle's stockings and check her legs? My hands are kind of full right now. Me? Alright. I'm sorry, Giselle. Whoa. There really are burn scars, both old ones and new ones. I concur, those are burn scars, some old and some new. That proves it then. Giselle, no. Killer. Will you finally admit your crimes? No way. Tell me that he's lying, Giselle. I can't believe it. I didn't think you'd actually be able to discover the truth with so little evidence. Sydney Curator, looks like I underestimated you. Everyone gasps at Giselle's tone of voice suddenly changes. Giselle, are you really a survivor from this island? Why did you kill them? Was it for revenge? You won't be able to understand even if I explain it to you. Everything I had, everything was taken away by Shironagasu Island. The people I killed were horrible men who had it coming for a very long time. I have no regrets ending their lives. I agree, to be honest. My only regret is that I couldn't kill Jacob Butler with my own hands. Giselle, what do people from this mansion want from you? What's your bargaining chip? Something I was given by someone when I had to leave everything behind here. My trump card for revenge. However, the people from the mansion want to use it to control the world. Control the world? Please give it to us, Giselle. No. My revenge is almost complete. I won't allow you to get in my way. I don't think you quite understand the situation you're in. I'm not as meek as you thought, and I'll get what I need by any means. I know you're talking just like me. Aurora? What? What was she shrieking about? What was that shrieking about? What the? That's the creature. Why is it here? Oh my god, is the creature working for her? It's the demon of Shironagasu Island. No, Aurora. You can't eat them now. Get me out of here. Aurora's the demon? You're not going anywhere. Don't move. Don't any of you dare move a muscle. Otherwise you're all gonna die. What do you mean? I have a parting gift for you. Handle it with care. If you have miraculous knowledge and amazing luck, you might be able to make it through this alive. Giselle, listen to me. Are you really the killer? So our relationship was just a lie? Giselle? Yes, it was all a lie. Everything. I'm just a liar. But wait! Giselle grabs Akira, and the creature holds them both as it disappears out the window. I run to the window and look outside. I can only see the back of the creature running toward the main building. It got away. Must have already made it to the main building. That's impossible. Jumping across cliffs that high while carrying 2 people? So that was the monster, the demon of Shironagasu Island. Why did Giselle call that creature Aurora? That's the name of the girl I saw. Damn, what's going on here? I don't want to spoil this moment, but the bag Giselle left behind, I have a very bad feeling about this. Should we just leave it there? It's got to be a bomb, right? She left us with a warning and also left her bag here. Let's take a look inside. Is that a bomb? It's definitely possible. But nobody would be stupid enough to try and defuse a bomb at a time like this. Alex, Neneko, get out of here now. I think Neneko's been paralyzed with fear. Shit. I'm a bit nauseous, and my knees are shaking as well. This isn't a joke. I've lost all the strength in my legs. I can't stand. That monster was too much for me. I'm sorry. Alright, I'll carry you. The phone's ringing? Ikeda, just ignore it. We have to get out of here right now. They're just trying to slow us down. No, leaving here might be a mistake. I should pick up the phone. Who's this? Ikeda, don't go outside. Huh? Akira, is that you? Are you alright? There's an explosive outside. It's been armed. Don't go outside. Calm down. What happened to Giselle? What explosive? Giselle, she left me behind. But enough about her. There's an explosive. Giselle planted an explosive on that iron door. So don't open it. On the iron door. Are you sure? It's like a square box. Giselle told me that if anyone opens the door, it'll explode. Akira, where are you now? In the dining hall. I'm calling from there. Ikeda, I'm scared. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know what to do. It's okay, don't worry. I'm gonna take care of this right away, and then I'll come and get you. For now, turn off the lights and hide in the shadows. Wait, don't hang up, please, I'm scared. Talking on the phone is just too dangerous. Just hide, okay? Ikeda, she's in a very dangerous situation. If Akira's right, an explosive has been planted on the iron door. Knowing how well trained Giselle is, we'll have to deal with the bomb here first. Rao, do you have any experience with bomb disposal? Well, I have studied bomb making fundamentals. I might be able to handle it. I also have some tools that can be used for dismantling bombs, but they were originally designed for breaking things, so I don't expect too much from them. Good enough for me. Neneko, you should go to Akida's room with Alex. If this bomb explodes, the room the furthest away from here might be safe. No, I want to stay and help you. I don't need someone who gets paralyzed as soon as she sees a monster. Be a good girl. Move as far away as you can. We're supposed to be together. Besides, if you die, how can the rest of us survive? Don't forget that I'm your partner. Geez, you're making me feel guilty. Alright, I'll let you help me. Can I leave? Are you kidding me, Alex? You're a man, aren't you? You need to show that you're less afraid than this little girl. Stay here and help me. Actually, I'm a girl. What a stupid joke. I'll make you dismantle the bomb yourself next time you say something stupid like that. I wasn't joking. Well, it looks like our fates are now bound together. Alright, I have everything I need. Let's take care of this bomb. Alright, we're gonna wrap this one up, and then I guess in the next one we have 2 bombs to disarm, a monster to fight, an assassin to fight, and probably the entire mansion staff also to fight. I'm sure we can handle it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.